Hi everyone, Constantine here. I thought I would make another vlog, whatever they are, about the JET program. And today I'm going to talk about the letter of intent. I really think that this is the most important part of your whole application. So if you're going to only pick one thing to obsess about, and I know you're going to obsess about everything, but if you're only going to pick one thing to obsess about, I really think that your letter of intent, or your statement of purpose, whatever you want to call it, this really is the thing that you should go over again and again and again and make sure that you get it perfect. Because this is really your chance to stand out and make an impression, more so than I think your application will do. So I think that this is the most important part. And when I was writing my letter of intent and looking around the internet for more information and procrastinating basically, I didn't really want to, read the stuff, the information that they have listed on the official JET website. I didn't want to read that listed on another website. And I didn't want to listen to people talk about it all over again. All I really wanted to do was read other people's letters of intent sort of as an example and kind of see what they wrote and what was successful so I could get an idea of what mine should look like. So what I've done is I have put a copy of my letter of intent up on my blog for you all to read. The link is in the sidebar. I'm not going to point to where the sidebar is because I honestly have no idea where it is. There, see, I just pointed. You know where it is. There's a link in the sidebar. So if you just want to read what I wrote as an example, then go for it and you don't have to listen to me talk anymore. But I will talk now, and they say that there are these are my notes, there are three things that they want in your letter of intent, which should only be 2 pages long. They want your motivation for participation, why, basically, your relevant experience, and your goals in the JET program, but also after the JET program. How is the JET program going to help you in your future career path? Those are what they want you to talk about. And I'm going to say something that probably should go without saying, but in your letter of intent, don't spend all of your time talking about how much you love Japan and how much you want to study Japan. Of course, if you're applying for the JET program, you have an interest in Japan. That is a given. Really, I think what you should emphasize is the fact that you would like to be a teacher. And if you have any relevant teaching experience, education experience with kids, anything that could in any way be relevant, then talk about it, because that's really going to help, because it's going to show that you have an interest in it, you've done it before, maybe on some level, you've done some sort of teaching or education job before. So you know what you're getting into, and you're going to be able to do what they ask of you in the program. Honestly, just don't go on and on about how much you love Japan. They know that. What I did, I started my letter or essay talking about how I first heard about the JET program, which was a very long time ago. And I was 12, and my mom bought me a copy of this book called Learning to Bow. Actually, Learning to Bow. Inside the Heart of Japan by Bruce S. Feeler. I have no idea how you pronounce his name. So this is a book about someone who did the JET program, and I read it when I was 12, and after I read this book I decided that I wanted to do the JET program. So that was my introduction paragraph, how after reading this book I knew I wanted to do the JET program. And then after that I went into all of the specifics. And I know this is a fairly common route to take, talking about how you read a book about Japan, like Shogun, or some other famous book about Japan, or how you really love Akira Kurosawa movies. I know that's another popular way. So maybe this isn't the most unique thing to talk about a book or a movie, but at least it makes it a little bit more personal so they can get to know you better. So, I debated for a little bit about my essay and how formal or informal I wanted it to be, how personal I wanted it to be, and ultimately I decided to go the more formal route because, let's face it, this is a job application. So certainly use good vocabulary, use excellent grammar. You're being hired to be a language teacher, and be formal and professional. That said, don't be boring, and don't tell them the same things that they have probably heard over and over and over again. In the JET program, as I'm sure it is the case with every other kind of program, there are pop words that come up over and over and over again, like internationalization, cultural exchange, and understanding. So you're going to want to use these pop words, of course. However, don't tell them the same things, or don't be repetitive with these words, and certainly don't repeat to them what they have written on their websites. Take your own personal experiences and apply them to these concepts, and talk about how your personal experiences are going to contribute to you fulfilling the goals of cultural understanding and internationalization. So don't be boring, and emphasize the things about yourself that will make you unique and stand out. I was very stressed about this because I had my whole family read it. I had pretty much everyone I knew read it. And my father was saying things like, well, I don't think you're coming across as passionate enough, and I don't think you're coming across as individual enough. You're not memorable enough in this essay. But then I had my Japanese boyfriend read my statement of purpose, and he was saying things like, you're really emphasizing your individuality too much. Sharing personal anecdotes. This is really not what we would, as Japanese, would do when we're applying to a job. The whole idea of a letter of intent in a job application, they might not even really have you do that when you're applying for a Japanese job. That said, they're not hiring you because they want you to act like a Japanese person. They're hiring you because they want you to be an American person, or a British person, or an Australian person, or a New Zealander, one of the various people who come from various countries to be in the JET program. They don't want you to be Japanese. So I think it's okay to emphasize your individuality, and certainly to emphasize the things about yourself that will help you contribute to sharing the culture of your country of origin. So in my essay, I talked about the things that I did in college that related to Japanese studies, of course, and I have many of them. But I also talked about the unique things that I've done that are perhaps more American. I talked about rock climbing and mountaineering, and not in my statement of intent, but during my interview I talked about hunting, and I also talked about working at a zoo, and all of these things I think made me really memorable because they did ask me about that in my interview. So I know that they were interesting enough to merit a question. That said, cover all the related topics, but do it in a way that is unique to you. That's really going to help you be memorable, and I think that if you seem like an interesting person with a lot to give to the program, then you'll definitely get an interview. And then you just have the horrific interview process, and that will be the subject of my next vlog. So write your essay and then rewrite it. Have a lot of people read it, and there's something that a lot of people say that I hate, but I think it's true, and that is that the best writing is rewriting. So keep that in mind, and good luck with your essay. And if any of you have specific questions about your statement of purpose, or would like me to read parts of it or all of it, I would be happy to do that. So send me a PM or contact me through one of the other various ways you can contact me through the internet, and good luck. But one more thing, if anyone says anything mean about my hair, then I'm going to find you and I'm going to assassinate you, because you know what? I like to relive my childhood sometimes, and I think pigtails is a good way to do this. So that's all for now, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!